Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I'm Dee London with Million Dollar Thrift. On this segment of my podcast, I wanted to invite my very special guest, RonAlexenburg, who is not only my go-to person in the entertainment industry, but he is like my own father. I love this man, and I'm going to try not to get all mushy, but he has been an amazing, amazing inspiration to me and to pretty much my entire family. So, welcome, Ron.
Well, thank you. It's nice to have you say those nice things about me. I can only tell you that it's less than a year I've known you, and it seems like a lifetime because it's all positive. And it's a rarity in this entertainment business when you meet somebody who is as talented as you, not wanting a lot, just want to be accepted for the talent that you have of being able to spot things, not just clothing, but furniture and everything else that you do. You have an eye for what is needed today with the economy being in as much trouble as it's in, and you make it so easy to look at things that we all wish we had but could never afford. And you make it affordable, not just in the thrifting for clothing, but I understand you've refurbished homes and picked out furniture. And there's so much that you have to offer. And it's hard to believe you are a mother of 6 children. It's hard to believe that your energy is so wonderful to be around. I mean, we're all fortunate to get to feel your vibes and your energy and the positive way you go about doing things. The thrifting that I've seen for a long time, I mean, I've been around people who have thrifted not even knowing it was thrifting, called bargain hunters. And they really didn't know how to negotiate. And being with you, when I said to you, I need a jacket, next thing I know, there were 3 or 4 jackets that all looked like they were multi-expensive, and you picked out one. Same thing with a shirt. I hesitate to tell you I like something because you can find it at so many different places, and you're a decision maker. So it's not like, oh, I'll let you know, or it's a definite maybe, which is what mostly happens in your world of thrifting. You see it, you like it, you get it, and that's it. And the availability that you have had to me and my family, which is pretty extensive. I don't let people into my family life. It's been my 61st year in the music business. So meeting you through your music, which we've yet to touch on. We've talked about the million dollar thrifting, and that's what we've been doing. And as I look around my house now, the gifts that you've brought here, it has been just a sheer joy. And when we can get people to retain your services, you make their life a lot easier, and you also don't put them in the poorhouse. And that, to me, is what I'm all about, helping people. You have the ability, amazing ability, to help people with everything you do. I mean, you're well educated. You're not bad to look at. Most guys are wanting to take you out on a date, but fortunately, Robert, when he flexes his muscles, they get scared and they run away. Me, they look at and say, how old are you? And you're hanging out with her? I'm going, yeah, that's exactly right. So I can't say enough good things. The podcast should reach people that want to benefit themselves. It should reach people that have the desire to retain you, to say, what looks good, what can I afford? I'm tired of being ripped off. And you're not doing any of that. You're not ripping anybody off. In fact, you're dedicating yourself to a point where you help without even being tortured. And I think it's just great. So I thank you for inviting me to be on your podcast. And I'm here for you, whatever you need.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for all the amazing words you just said about me and the show, and I'm ever so grateful. And for those of you that don't know Ron, he is actually an icon in the industry, in the music industry. If you Google his name, you will see exactly who he is and what he has done. I believe you were the VP of CBS back in the day?
Yeah, I was the youngest vice president ever at 26 years of age. Made more money than I ever thought I'd ever make, and spent more money than I ever thought I'd ever spend.
That's because you didn't know me.
I bet you, I definitely would have been in the poorhouse. But yeah, well, thank you. I mean, the music business has been my life, other than wonderfully married to my wife, Rochelle, for 58 years with 4 wonderful grandchildren and 2 daughters. We lost our son to diabetes, and Dee and Robert and their family have helped us through the most difficult time. But getting up in the morning and looking forward to seeing Dee and driving 70 miles from my house in 80 days of traffic in California, it's well worth it to walk into her house, which will no longer be a house once we can get everything that she's thrifted into a retail store, a store that she will be there. She will help people through it all. But it's what I look forward to. It's a different approach for me, and it's a challenge that I know she will succeed in.
Thank you, Papa Ron. I really appreciate that. It's been a long time coming, and like I said earlier on my other podcast, it took me a minute to get to where I am. I had certain life events happen to me, and each time life throws something at me, I just have to make the most of it. I don't get a choice to just walk away and give up on my kids and give up on the household. That's not an option.
I wouldn't let it happen. And my theme to you is only the strong survive.
That's right. I will survive. I promise.
Only the strong survive. I'm not going to use that song, but only the strong survive.
And speaking of songs, why don't you let everybody know who you work with?
Oh, well, now you're embarrassing.
Everybody, you guys have to hear who he's worked with.
We were very fortunate. I was fortunate to be a cocky kid from Chicago that didn't understand the word no. And when they gave me the reins at Epic, which was owned by Columbia, I was at Columbia, the head of promotion of the biggest record company in the world, dealing with the Andy Williams and Barbra Streisands and Bob Dylan and Chicago, which was the first band that I got involved in, Chicago.
My favorite group.
I'm still involved with Danny Seraphin, the lead drummer. And then when we took over Epic, I asked Clive Davis, who was my boss, to leave me alone and let me win or lose on my own. And I fortunately put the best staff together. And that was the reason that we went from 3 million to close to 400 million in a very short period of time, signing bands that had been turned down prior to coming to see me. Boston, Meatloaf, Kansas, the OJs, Isley Brothers, Teddy Pendergrass, Lou Rawls, and my goodbye present to CBS Epic was when Arthur Taylor, the president of CBS, refused my deal memo that I put on his desk to sign a little kid that I loved from day one called Michael Jackson.
Wow.
So I put my job on the line in 1976 and signed Michael and the Jacksons, and the rest is history. It's got the biggest selling album of all time. If you took Off the Wall and Thriller and put them together, you're probably close to 200 million records sold by now. I don't have the exact total.
Wow.
But the biggest star in the world. I love young kids. It started with me with Sesame Street when Jim Henson brought me an album, and he said, nobody wants this. I recorded it for Columbia Records. And I said, my young daughters watch your show. This when it first started. Every morning, they wake me up to Sesame Street. And I said, let's put out this record, Rubber Ducky. What? Yeah. And we put out Rubber Ducky, and the record went to #1.
Wow.
So going against it is what I've always done. And that's when Dee told me she's got this idea, and it's fallen on a lot of deaf ears because people didn't want to take the time to get to know her. It took me standing at a music industry event with their young son Mikey standing right next to her, looking beautiful, and she handed me a CD. I came home, I listened to it, and then I said, what else do you do? She said, well, I've got this $1 Million Thrift. I said, what a great name. $1 million? She said, come to my home, take a look. I walked into her house with my wife. It looked like everything was costing $1 million. But, you know, my career has been wonderful. I've just been acknowledged for a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Oh, congratulations.
Which came out of nowhere. Thank you. December the 7th in Nashville. It's Lifetime Achievement. I said, too early. I'm not done yet. You know?
You're definitely not done, Papa.
I'm not done. No, not at all.
So, guys, there you have it. I mean, he's just an amazing human being. What's not to love about this man?
Thank you. Tell that to the guy I'm going to go see at Chase Bank in a few minutes.
They know not to mess with you, so I know that.
That's okay. But I have to tell you, if anybody deserves, let me leave you with this. If anybody that I've met, and I've met more people than you could ever imagine, deserves to have success, deserves to be acknowledged, it's this Dee London.
Thank you.
The way she takes care of her children, the way she's bounced from pillar to post over the years and still survives. And she has the support of a wonderful friend, I can call him that, Robert Tranchina, ex-police officer from New York, who takes care of everything. The guy's unbelievable. If you ever need anything fixed in your house, get a hold of him.
He has a sequence kit and fixes my stuff because I don't sew.
The sequence kit on the horse from the merry-go-round, you have to show on your podcast.
I think the viewers don't know, but what he's referring to is I picked up a carousel horse for $14.99. It was a blue and white and kind of messed up. I took it home. Robert completely revamped it. He painted it, and then I bejeweled it, over 5,000 little tiny bejeweling. And that took me about 2 months. But yes, Robert is that guy that will step up and do whatever it takes.
I think the hardest part of knowing you is when it comes to your birthdays or anniversaries of trying to figure out what to get you. Okay? We were in Florida recently, and I said, I think Dee would like that. Oh, no, Ron, she's got about 8 of them. Oh, okay.
Well, that is true. Robert says the same thing. I don't know what to get you. You have everything. You get it yourself. And then if I pay too much, you're going to get upset with me.
No, what I get you is our prayers. And I give you those.
Thank you.
In anticipation of having a happy Easter.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And I'm glad you picked me to be a part of this. Because
well, you're my first guest. My first and most important guest.
Oh, boy. Well, the pay is great, so thank you.
You're very welcome. It is $1 Million Thrift, after all.
It'll be a meal or something that I'll find from you.
Oh, my gosh.
Thank you for inviting me, and may this be the first of many.
Thank you. Thank you, Ron. And thank you for joining us. And to my listeners, to my viewers, thank you for following along. And you don't know what an amazing blessing it was to just see and hear this man. He is a legend in and of itself. And I'm just proud to call him my friend and my Papa Ron. All my kids call him Papa Ron. Everybody calls you Papa Ron.
Get that little guy to come along. I need his help.
Yes, Alex, definitely. Alex, my little 4-year-old, loves this man. He loves him to death. And,
After he almost destroyed me the first time I met him, yeah.
he ran right towards him and almost knocked him down.
You can be the one to tell everybody where he hit me.
Yeah, we'll leave that part out. He's oh so little, and he ran right towards him. So sorry about that.
I still feel the pain.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, thank you. Thank you again for joining and for all the amazing, wonderful words that you have. It's nice.
Continued.
Yes, to be continued. And it's always nice to hear those positive thoughts and words, because my brain tends to repeat whatever it's heard, and hearing good, positive things is an amazing thing for me. So thank you for that. And for all our viewers, all our listeners, I just want you to know that this podcast is dedicated to exactly that: goodness and strength, community, love, patience, endurance, and survival. And it's not about anything other than that. It's got to be positive, good. And, if you can leave here after listening to this and be inspired to go out there and do what's best for you, and don't spend the extra money. Don't spend the money you don't have. Save it. Put it in the bank. Save it for your children, save it for a rainy day, save it for retirement. We live in an economy right now that's really unpredictable. And I think the timing of $1 Million Thrift is impeccable. Absolutely impeccable. So thank you for Ron's support, and everybody else who's around me and supporting me. Thank you to Robert, who's my better half and has endured a lot of stuff with me over the years. And he never knows, as he says, what he's going to find that day, what I'm going to bring home, what I'm about to do. And that's just the essence of who I am and what I'm about. And I think that's why I'm in the position that I am today. I don't give up. I will not give up. And I'm going to be that beacon of light and hope to my kids, knowing that no matter what hits them, you can rise up, you can do what you need to do until you got your situation under control. So I'm here to tell you life is about moving forward. You guys will soon learn over time. I'm a very spiritual individual, and I believe that everything happens for a reason. And I believe that God put me in a position where I can share my thoughts, share my words, share my views, and share with you whatever goodness I have and whatever I've learned over the years. So thank you for being part of my podcast. Thank you for being part of my life. Thank you for being a support system. Papa Ron, thank you, and Rochelle and your whole family for all the love and support. And I look forward to bringing you guys a lot more about $1 Million Thrift. Until next time, and Papa Ron, thank you again. But till next time, guys, I'm Dee London with $1 Million Thrift.